Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. We've got another really good episode, and it's about a bait that I want to talk about. It's a new bait that's just hit the market, and it's one that I'm really most excited about using for next year because it is so extremely versatile. I'm talking about there really is no technique that you cannot apply this bait to, and that's one of the things that appeals to me the most, is the fact that I can carry this bait and use it for so many different things that it limits the amount of tackle that I need to bring with me because it is that versatile. It's hard to find baits that are so extremely versatile, and this is a bait that's just come out, and I've had it for a couple of months, so I was able to use it a little bit prior to us freezing over, and I had a lot of really good success. It's just a bait that I'm excited to use in a lot of different situations. Before I get into it, I just want to remind you guys, though, that if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you should do that. You'll get yourself entered into my monthly prize drawing giveaways where you can win different items like Bridgeford beef jerky or some of these baits maybe in this upcoming month. Or if once we hit 20,000 subscribers, we're going to have a big subscriber giveaway, and I'm sure I'll be giving away some of these baits during that time. So if you want to be entered, you got to hit that subscriber button. All right, guys, so this bait is a bait that's been in the works for quite some time. It's a Berkley Powerbait bait, which I love Berkley baits. I love the Powerbait scent. I think there's something special to it that the fish really love. They bite it and they can't let go. I mean, that's the motto, and I think there's something to it. So this bait has been in the works for a little bit. I know it's one that Skeet Reese has had a lot of design info on. It's got his name on the bait. And it's something that a lot of other companies, I feel like, have kind of capitalized on over the last couple of years. It's a small compact bait, and it's right here. It's the Boss Grub. Comes in a couple different sizes. This is the 3-inch size, and then we got a little bit bigger, a 4-inch size. Tons of great colors that this bait is coming out in. And it's similar to a lot of other company baits in that it's a very versatile bait, like I said. You know, you look at a bait like Strike King has their Menace, which can be used in a lot of different applications. Zoom has their Ultra Vibe Speed Craw, which is a small craw bait that can be used in a lot of different applications. And this is it. I mean, this is a 3-inch size. And it really is a great little grub bait, as they state. And why I'm so excited about it is because I know I'm going to be able to use this in so many different situations. You know, right off the bat, you want to think perfect for a jig trailer. You know, a small 3-inch one like this is a great compact jig trailer, or you could go up to the 4-inch size, which I've got here, pre-rigged on a jig. That's like the perfect size for a jig. And the one thing that's really nice about this, that's different from some of the other baits, is there's a decent gap between the legs. What that does is that allows a lot of water motion to go through the bait, and it allows those legs to kick really well without getting stuck. That's one issue you run into with some plastic baits. If the legs are too tight together, you know, if you just have a slit here, at times those legs will catch each other and you won't get good motion. In this case, because they do have this gap in the middle, it allows a lot of water flow, allows a lot of motion to come out of these legs, and it allows them to work the way they're supposed to work throughout the entire cast. The other thing that I like about that is it gives them a little bit more of a natural look, like a crayfish look, where the legs are spread apart. You know, you got the pincher arms that are kind of wider out from the body like this. But because it is wider, it kind of gives you different profiles. It looks a little bit like a crayfish. It looks a little bit like a bluegill. And at the same time, you get some of the white pearl colors and it gives you that shad look. So definitely, as a jig trailer, that's a no-brainer. But not just a flippin' jig. What about a swim jig? I think it's going to be killer on that. I would personally rig it so that the tails are vertical versus being horizontal in the water. I think on a swim jig, I would much rather have them so it's rigged on the side. Same thing with a chatterbait. You know, there's not so much kick in these legs that it's going to prohibit that chatterbait from hunting side to side, which is one of the things that I always look for when I'm using my chatterbaits. I do not want a trailer that has so much kicking action that it creates drag in the water. These are very finessey type legs. They do have good motion, but they don't have the size to create a lot of drag in the water where you're going to limit your chatterbait from moving a lot side to side. You know, I think one thing that we've seen with the Strike King Menace over the years is it's a great bait to be dragged on the bottom if you're using some sort of swing head jig. I can assure you that this bait will catch him doing that. That was one of the ways I caught him this fall when I was just playing around with this bait. It works great on a swing head. It's going to work great. I was using it just on one of my guppy heads as a little finesse swim bait type style. You know, it's kind of a cross between a boot tail swim bait and an old school grub. You know, it's that kind of that in between thing that they haven't seen. And I think, you know, it worked great this fall. You know, like I said, I have not played around a ton with it, but I've seen enough and caught enough to know that this little guy works in a lot of different applications. And on a guppy head was one of the ways that I was catching a lot of fish. You can go to a straight Texas rig presentation if you want. I think it's going to be a great bait for punching through mats. You get the bigger size here. You know, we'll show you the 4-inch size. Anytime you're punching through mats, you definitely want a little bit more streamlined bait that doesn't have the appendages that some of the bigger craws have. So in this case, you know, a bait like this would be a great punch bait. And again, like I said, they have tons and tons of different colors. Here's the 4-inch versus the 3-inch. You can see there's pretty big size difference. You know, they're really, I just think that these are going to be great for everything. I could see putting this on a buzzbait, you know, on a like a Dirty Jigs Canterbury buzzbait that doesn't have a head. You just slide the body up over the keepers to keep you on there, and it's going to work great for all of those different applications. So I have yet to really find a situation where I think that this won't work. You could put it on a Carolina rig. You could just drag it, you put on a shaky head. You know, it really is going to be a very, very versatile bait. So if you're looking to limit the amount of tackle that you can carry, so if you're a bank fisherman or a co-angler and you can't carry with you all kinds of tackle, anytime you can find a bait that's really versatile, you know, to be used as a trailer on different swim jigs and chatterbaits and jigs, and then at the same time be able to fish them by themselves, you know, higher up in the water column on a jig head, or whether you drag them on the bottom on a shaky head or a Carolina rig, you know, a bait like this is going to catch you a ton of fish doing so many different things. And one of the nice things too is Berkley's gone to these harder clamshell cases with a lot of their baits right now, and that's going to keep these baits in really good condition. They stack really well. They're nice, tight little cases. So if you're looking to throw a bunch into your tackle bag or into your boat and compartments, they're going to keep them in good shape. It's going to be a big hit, guys. I'm telling you, next year you're going to hear a whole ton about the Berkley Powerbait Boss Grub. You know, I can tell you right now it's going to be a really good go-to for me. I'm excited to use them a lot on a swim jig. You know, I've been using the Berkley deal and had great luck on that. But I think this is going to be something that's going to give the Berkley deal a run for its money on the swim jigs. And it's just something, like I said, I love limiting the amount of tackle I carry in the boat. And when I find a bait that I can use on so many different techniques, it just makes me much more efficient in the boat. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's something you guys are going to hear a ton about for next year. You probably should try to get your orders in. I know the realshot.com doesn't have them yet. But I think Tackle Warehouse might have them, or at least I think they're taking pre-orders for them right now. So keep your eyes open for them, guys. You're going to hear a lot about them next year. I think they're going to be big on the tournament scene as well. So let me know if you've used them. Throw a comment in the comment section so that other people can hear your opinion on it as well. Otherwise, stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching, guys.